What is up, guys? TRG coming at you with another video on cryptocurrencies, and today we are going to be talking about the Monero hard fork. Alright, now Monero has hard forked many times in the past, and this is a wonderful thing for GPU miners. Like, this is amazing. We love this, right? And basically what it allows us to do is to mine Monero and bring in a consistent income through that by mining that. And what's nice about that is it never gets diluted by ASICs, right? So I mean, we're seeing a lot of that when we mine other coins, even with mining coins that use ETH hash, right? Like Ethereum or even Ethereum Classic. They're looking at getting ASICs on those coming up in April, as has been announced. Now, but on top of that, there's several other coins that are rocking ASICs now, and they kind of take it off the GPU market for mining, right? Which is shitty, for a lack of a better term. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to break down and look at some of these ASICs, and then we're going to break down the hard fork. So everything that you need to know, what you need to know to get your Vegas mining, if you have RX Vegas, or your RX 580s or your RX 570s, because there are a few things that you have to do in order to get those suckers going. Alright guys, so now without further ado, let's break it down. So right here we can see one of the ASICs here that was released, and it was believed that in September, like on September 3rd, there was a difficulty spike for Monero. So they were suggesting that the ASICs actually jumped on the network around or prior to September 3rd. Okay, now if we look at this Neon miner, it's $7,200 for 11,000 hash on Monero. Now, if you aren't aware or you don't own or mine with RX Vegas, those statistics are very close to what RX Vegas can do and perform on while mining Monero. Okay, the difference is that if you want to sell your RX Vegas, you can sell them for a decent profit because they have alternative uses, right? Now the thing with these ASICs is once they're no good on mining Monero on CryptoNight version 7 or CryptoNote version 7, they're basically no good. They're just kind of paperweights. You can't reprogram them or anything like that, which is really unfortunate if you have invested in them. Right? They're kind of like paperweights. So the idea is that if you were using these when they were released, that you would be able to generate some sort of profit. But unfortunately, if you crunch the numbers, you don't make enough money by using these when they were released to basically cover your costs. Now that is the crappy thing. Now if we look at the payback period, especially now, we can see it like their biggest thing is our hardware buys itself. Click here to view the latest profitability. If we jump over to what to mine, we can do the math right here. So every month you're getting a revenue of approximately $187, and there is a, like you wouldn't pay these off for about 3 years, and that's assuming that the difficulty and value of Monero was the same as it is now. Now obviously that's not the case. It's very, very difficult to do long-term calculations like that, but we're just showing what it would be worth or what you would be mining right now in that regard. Now, like I said, if you had RX Vegas or RX 580s or 570s, you can mine different coins still, or you can use them for gaming or VR. They're multi-purpose, and they still have a value if you want to resell them on the market. Now, with ASICs, unfortunately, you can't. So, just wanted to break that down and, yeah, actually bash them a little bit. So now let's dive into the Monero hard fork, right? What else did they do, right? So they stopped the ASICs again, like they always do, and props to you guys out to the Monero team for doing this. You guys are fantastic. We love you, and you know what? At the end of the day, we need you out there. That comes from GPU miners, all right? Now, let's explain bulletproofs. Well, basically, what they've done is they've reduced the cost of transactions by 80%. Okay, now if this happened to any other coin, the amount of price increase you'd think would be like astronomical, because if Bitcoin said, or like the team,
you could do
like some of the teams that do development on Bitcoin, geez, if they announced, you know what, hey guys, we're doing a fork, and by the way, transaction costs are decreasing by 80%. People would lose their shit. Okay, it would be mental, right? The price of Bitcoin would fly through the roof. But here we are, and Monero is saying that, like, they've done it. It's been proven. It works. Okay. Not only that, there's also the fun fact that if they applied bulletproofs to Bitcoin, the size of the chain data would, instead of being 185 gigabytes, which I believe is approximately what it is now, it would be about 17 gigabytes if they applied the bulletproofs concept and zero knowledge proof to Bitcoin, right? So, which is, like, that's mental. It's game changer. Like, this is another foot forward for cryptocurrency altogether, and I think that we're going to be seeing more things like this. Like, this is leaps and bounds, if you ask me, for cryptocurrency, right? So, which is freaking awesome. Now, how have they done this? Well, let's break it down. So, basically, what they've done is, under the current range proof format, the size of XMR transaction scales mostly linearly, depending on the number of inputs, depending on the number of outputs, right? So one output equals 2 kilobytes approximately, and 2 outputs equals about 13 kilobytes. While under bulletproof, transaction sizes scale logarithmically. So, for example, one output equals 2 kilobytes, 2 outputs equals 2.5 kilobytes, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want more information on that, there is actually the Bulletproof's white paper that you can examine, which is pretty fantastic. It's really well written, but honestly, like, I am not a major mathematician or cryptographer, so I can't go into the very in-depth details of that. But if you are, or you would like to review it, the resource is absolutely there. Now, so let's now that we've explained that, let's move on to the Monero price. All right, guys. So Monero hasn't seen a major price increase, not yet. And basically, when big updates like this come out, what we generally see in a bear market is we don't see the price rise now. We may see a price rise a little bit delayed, right? But I mean, as far as the technological advancement goes, man, this is a huge win. Right, like this is mental. Like, I'm pumped for this. And if we jump over to the Monero Twitter, they actually have some wicked announcements from coinmetrics.io. And the Bulletproofs update, Monero average transaction is now 3 kilobytes versus a pre-fork average of 18.5. Like, holy shit. Okay, guys, like, what the fuck? You know? This is crazy, and the average fee has plummeted from 60 cents to 2 cents. So 2 pennies to do a private transaction. Basically, what this means is if you're money laundering, your transactions are cheaper. No. Well, I mean, I guess that is still the case, but that's not the idea behind this. The idea behind this is, if you want to do a privatized transaction for whatever means, you know, especially like let's say let's put this up there, and let's say you're doing a business transaction, right? And you don't want people to see what deal you gave your previous customer for the service you offered, right? Then at least when you give them your payment address, they can't view that and it's privatized, right? So they don't have to question how much you're charging them versus your previous customer, right? So that's a pretty solid use case for Monero. You know, privacy is a big deal, and they're all about it. So, and I love to see this. I love to see their fight against ASICs. You know, they're busting their chops out there. They're working hard, and you know, I see it. So, props to the Monero team. Now, there's this wicked article on basically how Monero works and what Bulletproofs has done. And I'll link this in the description of my video so you guys can check it out, because it's awesome. And I really like this graphic, which basically explains how ring signatures work and everything like that, which is pretty freaking wicked. So basically what happens is you have signers from past XMR transactions, right? And those are basically get put into the ring signature as decoys, and your real signature, so your address, right? Because your address is basically your signature, or what you would call your account, right? Is jumbled in, and it's mixed in with all of these as part of the ring signature, right? So now when everybody looks at the block, they basically can't determine which signature is yours, right? So you can just be viewing all these different balances, and you don't know whose balance is whose because they're mixed in. So basically that's how Monero ring signatures work. But they also break down many other things in depth, which I think is fantastic. So definitely give it a read if you're interested in all of this, because it's great. It's wicked content, and I love reading a good article every now and again. So now the next thing that I wanted to talk about is how do you get your RX 580s and your RX 570s and your RX Vegas mining this? Well, basically, what you want to do, what I had to do for my RX Vegas in any case, is before I was using the August 23rd blockchain compute drivers. Now you guys are probably very familiar with them if you do mining with the RX Vegas, right? Now here's the thing. My hash rates were half of what they were supposed to be on the blockchain compute driver. And what you have to do to resolve that is you have to install the Adrenaline Edition 18.5.1 drivers. I think the so 18.51 and 2 and 3, I think all of those drivers work, but from my experience, 18.5.1 100% works. I haven't had any issues with it. I literally installed it. I installed my registry modifications for my power play tables for the cards, and then I was pretty much laughing after that. It was just a party, right? So that is what you'll have to do. You'll also have to download the new miner. So XMR Rig has updated, Cast XMR has updated, and XMR Stack has updated for the hard fork. So you'll actually have to change your mining software, and a lot of people are claiming that there's about a 7% hash rate decrease on the new fork. But personally, if I've identified that basically I'm getting the same hash rate as I would on the previous. So I haven't had any issues. I did have to just adjust the cards and overclock them a little bit, but otherwise I was fine. I hope that helps everybody out that is starting to mine on the new fork of Monero. Profitability has increased since before the hard fork, which is awesome. But more importantly, like I said, this is leaps and bounds for privatized currencies like this. So, I mean, I'm all about it. I've started mining it with my Vegas. This seems to be the most profitable at this point in time. Of course, if you guys have other picks that are more profitable than this, I would love to hear about them. Just leave them in the comments section below, because I want to check them out. On top of that, if you guys have any thing that you want me to review, any projects you want me to check out, again, drop them down below, because I will check them out. I'm curious, and I love to learn, right? Cryptocurrency is basically my life, so this stuff is great. So Anyways, if you guys want to contact me or let me know about anything, any wicked updates that you want me to cover, just you can tweet me, you can message me in Discord, fire me an email, comment on the video. You can catch me almost anywhere. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, stay regular.